So in the first lecture of the lang chain, right, we had one assignment where we had to create one custom chain. You guys remember?
Yes.
So let me take you through some of the slides. So we talked about the ecosystem of the lang chain. What are the different packages, right? For example, we have LangChain core, we have a LangChain community, we have LangGraph for creating agents, we have integrations with the different providers, different LLM providers, or right. We also have the LangGraph cloud where we can deploy our agents. And we talked about the ecosystem, LangChain core, community. Okay, community has the all third-party integrations, and we have LangChain specific packages also. For example, the packages for OpenAI and for Google or for Grok, they are so big that they have created dedicated, different packages. Instead of putting all together in the community, they have created different packages. For example, for OpenAI, they have created LangChain hyphen OpenAI, and we have LangServe, we have LangSmith to monitor our application. Okay, so all this was covered in our first lecture of LangChain basics. And then we have also done LangChain advanced. So in the basics, we also covered about, how to connect with the OpenAI. Okay, so we have to create the keys. We have to give our, credit card details. Then we have to generate our keys. Once the keys are generated, at the same time, we have to copy them into some safe place. Okay, if you don't do that, and if you simply cross that window, then we will not be able to recover those keys. Then we can create new key. Okay, so that should also not be a problem. Okay, we can create as many keys as possible, and the keys are not specific to a particular model. We just need to give the name of the model with the same keys. If you want to use 3.5 turbo, or we need to use 4.0, 4.0 mini, or O1, whatever models we want to use, we can give the name of the models, and the keys remains the same. And the uses of the tokens and keys are all always tracked in your settings. Okay, so all those things we have talked about. We also tried to plug in the Grok keys. Okay, we went to the Grok website and we created our API keys. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so sorry. So we talked how we can use OpenAI models and how we can use the open source models which are deployed on the Grok platform. All right. And we talked about why do we need LangChain, because it's a framework. It helps us to create complex applications. If
Surinder, so
Mhm.
this Grok, this is using the Gemini when if you are facing any issue in Grok and there is a, you can say auto copilot is with the Grok, sorry, with this Google Colab. So their Colab, we are using this Gemini, correct, or something
Yeah,
else?
yeah. So Colab is using Gemini. So
Okay.
Colab is again a platform from the Google. So that is internally using Gemini. But
Okay.
when we are using Grok, then we are actually using the models which are deployed on the Grok platform. On the Grok website, we go, right? And then we
Got it.
see there are a lot of models which are there.
Got it.
Okay. All
And this Grok and the new Grok by Elon
they are
Musk is
different.
different,
They
correct?
are different, correct.
Okay.
Okay. So all these models, all these are open source models. Okay. So these we can use with the help of Grok platform. We have to create keys from here. So this we have done, and then we talked about what are the messages, AI
I
messages.
think
When
your machine is not shared.
is it? Let me share it again. Visible, I suppose.
Yes.
All right. Okay, then we talked about the messages. We talked about what was the old way of accessing these LLMs, and then they started change their APIs, and now whatever messages we send or whatever prompt we send to the LLMs, they are in the form of messages, AI message, user message, system message. Okay, then we talked about output parsers, which can format our outputs. We talked about runnable interface. They all expose the common methods. For example, component dot invoke, component dot stream, and component dot batch, things like that. So we talked about what are runnable chains, how we can, plug these components together. For example, prompt, model, and parsers to create the chain. Okay, which is again a runnable component. Okay, chain itself is also runnable. So we can also do chain dot invoke, dot stream, dot batch. Okay, so when we create the chain, what we basically mean is we put the different components together, and when we invoke the chain, for example, then we need to pass the arguments which are required for my first component. For example, prompt is looking for two arguments. Then we will pass those two arguments in the chain.invoke as a parameters. We pass the dictionary basically. We say the first key should be like that, second key should be like that, and then we pass those two arguments to the prompt. The output of the prompt will automatically be passed to the model, and the output of the model will pass to the parser, and the output of parser will be shown in my chain response. Okay, so like that we have talked about what is streaming. Streaming means the LLM by nature creates word by word, right? In the basics of AI, we talked about how the LLMs generate the tokens. So they create or generate the response token by token, word by word, you can say. So if my application wants that, I should also be given the response in token by token, right? So there are two ways. One way is that large language model will generate the response token by token, and once the entire response is being generated, then maybe it will show it to the front end. But what if the response is too large? Then the user has to wait till the full response is generated by LLM, and then it will be shown to the user in one go. So in order to avoid that, what we can do is we can use the stream. Okay, so the LangChain has this function called stream, runnable.stream. It will help to send the tokens as soon as they are being created by the large language models. So this we will also see today also. And then prompt templates, chat prompt templates. So all these are basically different components. And in the last, I asked you to create this custom chain, and the exercise was about to create a chain that generates interview questions given two elements: the position name for a job and the job description. Okay, so
Suren, for this stream is like the same when we are watching the video in streaming mode, or it is different for example, we are if
so you
using
can
two
compare with
chain
that
and two
also.
output.
Yeah. I mean, you can compare that also. In that streaming also, when we are seeing the live stream of a
Mm-hmm.
cricket match, then as long as those bytes are generated, they are sent to the user, right? Byte by
Mm.
byte.
Okay, and
Okay.
but you are saying in that case, if we are using two or multiple chains, then it will help us. You are saying correct?
Sorry, come again.
What you are saying, if I missed this, you are saying
Mhm.
if we are using more than one chain, then streaming is helpful.
No, no, I was saying if you want user to see
Mm-hmm.
the response generated token by token instead of
Mm-hmm.
waiting for
Mm-hmm.
too long for the entire, response to be shown to the user. So they have to
Okay, got
wait,
it.
right?
Got it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like async, not a synchronization. When done all the operation, then go
Correct,
the
correct,
result.
correct.
Okay,
So once the
got it.
first token is generated by the LLM, the user will also be shown the first token, and then gradually all the
Okay,
tokens will
okay,
be
got it.
shown to the user.
Got it.
Okay. So for example, this is the small exercise which you had to do. So just think about the applications now. You know how you can create some application. Let's say there is an HR team, or so what they can do is they can create some application, and that application, once given the position name for a job, And the job description, what it will do is it will create some interview questions, not the HR. Let's say we as a technical people, let's say we have to take some interviews and we are not prepared. So what we can do is we can use this application, we can give the position name of the job, and we can also give some job description, and on the basis of that, what our application will do is it will create some interview questions, some relevant interview questions. Okay, so let's try this one first. I will go to Google Colab. I hope you can still see my screen. We go-
And there is a one query. Sundar.
Mhm. Go ahead.
Actually, recently I taken a one course
Mm-hmm.
I, Python from Udemy.
Mm-hmm.
So for this this you can say like LangChain and AI, which level Python is required? I think the advanced level or
I
some
think
basic.
very basic level Python is, I mean, sufficient, right? As long as you are able to understand the Python, that should be sufficient. We
Okay.
are,
So,
hmm,
for advanced level Python is not required. You
hmm,
are saying.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay, anyway, coding is being done by co-pilots now, right? You should only know what you are looking for, and whether the answer given by the our AI system is right or not. Okay.
Now, what I'm thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, it is okay. Like this agent, like Cursor UI and
Mm-hmm.
Replit and everything is generated it to code. But
Correct.
if we want to understand it, then definitely we have to go with the basic as well as advanced things. Then we can understood it like correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there are the tons of code, line code there, and they like agent have generated the code. But
Mm-hmm.
if we are not able to understand that, then it would be
See,
a
even
difficult.
if you know any language, maybe Java or C, I think that is
Hmm.
sufficient, right? Because I mean the
Mm,
languages are almost
yes, yes.
same, right?
Definitely.
It's just that the
Behind the ops concept
mm-hmm.
and data structure are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some minor difference in Python and Java. Some
Correct,
minor difference
correct.
only. Yep.
Okay, so we are building that custom chain. Okay, so what I have done is I have installed the LangChain and the LangChain Grok. Okay, so this is our Grok library. So after that, we have seen in the core, we have this prompts. We are using chat prompt template. So I have created one message template which says generate interview questions for the following job and description. And my role name is this role, which is acting as a variable, and job description is the description. Okay, so these are two variables in my message template. Now I'm creating my chat prompt template dot from messages, and then I have provided two messages. So my first message is the system message. You are a senior HR manager. You are great at crafting job interview questions that are insightful and useful. And the human message is coming from this template. Okay, so this template is again looking for two values, which we will pass. So let me run this one. The API key client must be set. Where is that? Okay. So this is my parser. So I'm creating my chain. It has three components: prompt template, which is looking for two values, and then my model, which is a Grok model, Mistral. Okay, and my string output parser. So I will just run my chain, and these are those two variables, role and the description. For let's say I want to generate interview questions for this role. software engineer, and description is like responsible for developing blah blah blah. So these are the two variables. This is my response. So what I will do is chain dot invoke. As I said, when you want to invoke this change, you have to provide the values which your prompt template is looking for. It's looking for role and description. So I have created one dictionary. Value key is the role, value is also the role, key is description, and the value is description. Okay. So I'm passing these two values. Okay. So when I do that, there is some problem. It says model Mixel has been decommissioned. Okay. I will take some another model, 70 billion.
Surinder, can you go to the same page where you have taken this model?
Just a second. Let me just run this one. Okay, so the responses here are the interview questions for a software engineer position. Introduction and background. Can you tell me about your background and how you became interested in the software engineer, right? Technical skills. How do you approach debugging? I mean, you can see, right, how organized and how precise these questions are. So now you can think of any application, right? Any use case basically, which can help us to which we can solve by making such simple applications, just few line of codes, and then you can create some very nice applications. Just think of a use case of hotel industry, or let's say I want to go to Shimla or Goa and I want to see some good places. So what we can do is maybe my first variable will be the place or the city, and the second is what exactly I am looking for, right? I want to stay there for 3 days, so I want to see where all I can visit and things like that. So people are, and the small companies are actually making applications, these simple applications, and they are selling in the market, right? And they are being created with so simplicity, right? And the people who are like in the hotel industry, or they actually don't know about AI. So these companies are selling such basic applications where they are just creating some prompts and creating some variables, and putting some UI on top of it, and they are selling to the industry. Okay, so you can think of any such use cases and you can work. Yeah. So yeah, tell me.
Here, for example, there's some limitation like context window token
Mm-hmm.
and max completions tokens, a max size. So that grok is a free model, and for example, if you can say like Llama, what you are using, its
Mm-hmm.
context window token is 128K,
Mm-hmm.
or 8196. Because I was just working on the last assignment, there is a
Mm-hmm.
Wikipedia and context.
Mm-hmm.
Then my response was that like a 2173, or like 21K, like a token.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was breezed the free model.
Mm-hmm.
So how we can, if I have just shown there are some one method concise it, but it was not working. So can we limit it in our code? For example, this if you selected model is 128K or 8192
Mm-hmm.
context window, and we can fix it via in Google Colab code if there is any method or any function.
Yeah, yeah. See, the input tokens you can definitely control from your prompt, right? So whatever question or whatever system prompt you
Uh,
are
uh,
sending,
I'm talking
that
about result when
so
it
for
was
the
giving us
result,
some.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm coming to that. For result, we have talked about max token, right? If you remember
Correct.
in our second lecture or so, so you can define an attribute called max token. Okay, so if
Okay.
that max token is 10K or 20K, whatever, I mean, you can
Mhm.
set it,
Mhm.
then your LLM will not generate more than that. Right, so we talked about p
Okay.
value and the k value, right? What are
Mhm.
the different parameters to tune your LLM? So that time we also talked about max token. So you
Okay.
can use that variable. I think where you can pass it when you are defining your model, or not the model, at maybe at the, I have to see exactly where you need to pass that particular.
Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Surendra, I have one query.
Mm-hmm.
So here,
So I
see
think you
the
need to
big,
pass it here, something like max token or something.
Surendra, can you get it?
Yeah, this one, right?
Okay.
Okay. So just use this one and then you
Okay.
can try.
Okay.
Surendra,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
This is Piru. Okay,
Yeah,
see
yeah.
here, the one which you are using that was the deprecated, correct? Previously,
Mm-hmm.
model.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you passing the key for this model?
So
The
this
token
key,
key?
this key is set here, right? In my environment. So what is happening is we can actually pass the key explicitly in the method also, right? When we are trying to instantiate the chat grok, we can pass the key here also. For example, some API key variable or something like that. Okay, but the best way is to set it in the environment. So whenever this piece of or this line will be executed, it will see if the key for this model, which is grok API key, is there is in my OS or not. If it is already there, then it will take the key from OS and then it will make the instance of the model. Getting? So you need to set it. You can set it either in this line or maybe you can set in your environment, os.environment. And I have set this value for this key as the value which I passed right here. And then
Mm.
when this line of code is executed, it will automatically being referenced. And then if it is able to find that key in the environment, then it will create the object. Does that answer your question?
Okay. I'm still, confused to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Enter your Grok API key is there, correct? So is that the place actually we have to enter, or is like what is that? Where are you passing that key?
Okay.
From where it is picking the key? That's my query. See, you have already in the left side you enabled it. It will
Hmm.
come. Now this is correct. You are entering the key.
Yeah. So
See now.
earlier, what I was doing is there are various ways, right? I don't want to expose my key here. Right now, you can
Okay.
read my key. Okay. So
Yep.
what I did was I used this getPass, which will do what? Which it will basically prompt me to enter the key here on the screen itself.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you are able to see this.
Yes, I can. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just copy pasted my key so that it's not exposed. Okay.
Got it.
All in all, the value of this key should be set grok API key either here or I think you can also pass it along with your.
Okay. But
Definitely, in even best practices, never define the key over the code. For
Hmm.
if you're using cloud computing, they are using the secret manager and
Correct,
secure
correct,
parameter.
correct.
So same like this key is mentioned in left corner. So it is a secret, no one can see. And
Exactly,
in code, we will not use the same key. We use just method to get from there.
exactly.
but can't it be fetched from the left side when you just enter Grok API key on the top? You see
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
a string.
yeah, you can do
Can't it?
that. I have tried, I have shown that as well, you right? So there is a method, right? This one.
Yes.
You can use this as well. So I just want to show you different ways so that if you see those ways, you don't get confused. Okay, so you can use that. Should also work. Okay. So this time, this is actually taking from the secrets.
Okay. And this key, as of now, I can see like five I can generate, correct? So Grok or Open API or the other one. There is a one more. So so here my method like models are deprecated when I am using that code. I'm just copy pasting from the Google, but it is
Mm-hmm.
saying that code has been sorry, model has been deprecated.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I understand that which model should I go and use it for this key? Is it a matter not a matter for the key, or is it like
No, I mean, once you have generated the grok key, you can use any of these models. Okay, I can use any of these models with the same key. The keys are not specific to the models, basically. The key will basically is a firewall for this platform, the entire Grok
Oh,
platform. Okay. Once it is able to match your key, then you should be able to use any of these models. Okay. And regarding the deprecation, so when the model is going to be deprecated, it's all written on the documentations or in the model card. Okay. So that you can find here. So this is quite old model actually. So that's why. So their life, okay, their end of support, everything is there on the websites. Okay. So if we are developing any enterprise applications, we definitely uh, consider all those things, which model we are using, when its end of life is there, when its support will end from the vendor, all those things. Okay. And we start getting the emails also, right?
right.
The version you are using, the model you are using, it is going to be deprecated and things like that. Okay.
Got it.
Hey, Surinder, I
Hmm.
have one question.
Hmm.
The whatever the question we ask, we directly post it on our chat GPT. It will give you the same answer. So chat GPT interface, what we are seeing here is how the underlying framework is working to get the data to us.
Hmm.
Right? Otherwise, I open the chat GPT, type this question, give me the job interview question for job description of this and this.
Hmm.
It give me the same answer on my chat GPT interface also. Right?
Hmm. Right, right. Maybe,
So
not
this
100% same, but yeah, maybe nearly same. And
Yeah,
and
so
you
if I have
you
my chat
you,
GPT, yeah, go ahead.
mhm. You might have provided this entire context, right?
Yeah, I open my
Mm-hmm.
chat GPT app, I type this question, it give me the answer,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So all these things are basically is already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's exposed in the model internally. It's I'm
Correct.
telling the question, getting me the answer.
Right.
So what is the intricacy of this part? Is it because it's how its background is working? That's why we are learning this. Otherwise, why would I go ahead and build something which is already supported, already there, and I'm typing and getting the same answer? That's my
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
question
yeah.
is.
Got it. So the ChatGPT is itself an application, right? So if your client comes to you and if he's asking for some custom application for himself, so you cannot just provide the ChatGPT itself to him, right? So
Okay,
ChatGPT itself is an application which is deployed in the public domain, right? Whatever you copy paste, it goes to the ChatGPT and they can use your information, right? So they
okay,
can use
okay,
that information to teach their models. Okay, they do take feedbacks in the form of thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So that is everything is going in the public domain, which you cannot do in your client system, right? If you have
okay.
a bank or if you have working with the Walmart or any other insurance company, so they won't allow you to use chat gpt, right? They don't want their client data to be put in on the chat gpt. So what we are doing is we are learning those basics with the help of which we can create the applications, and in the backend there will be a large language model. Okay,
So it's
so
like we are building a chat GPT kind of application. There
yeah,
is
yeah,
only
correct,
okay,
correct,
okay,
correct. So ChatGPT is
okay,
a very,
cool.
very generic thing, right? But if a customer is looking for some customized application for its use case, then we cannot use ChatGPT. Out of the box, right? We have to put lot of things.
So for
Okay.
this, Surinder, I have
Mm-hmm.
one query. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
if you have also mentioned there, and in nowadays, if organization are using, then they are not using like this direct to key and all. They are using cloud computing platform. So it
Mm-hmm.
would be very helpful if you can, for example, we are doing like this one. If you can give one demo for
Mm-hmm.
using like a Bedrock, then it would
Mm-hmm.
be very helpful for us. We
Yeah,
are
yeah.
learning from that
Mm-hmm.
manner what you are teaching us, and the
Mm-hmm.
same I will implement with this Bedrock. So
Mm-hmm.
if
Got
you
it.
can just put one session with that, how we can use cloud computing model like in AWS Bedrock, then
Mm-hmm.
definitely it would be very helpful for me.
Yeah, yeah. So that is a session which I have planned in the last, right? Deploying the applications, and maybe we can also talk about these platforms also. Okay, for example, in the GCP, we are using Vertex AI. In the
Correct,
Azure, we
correct,
have different services.
correct. Because I had a discussion with my
The
manager
the
when he
only
was
problem is those services and those models are not
costly, have a
free
cost.
actually. I mean, they
Yes,
are
yes,
not
yes.
free. So as an individual, you cannot create your account. No, it's not about the cost, but as an individual, I am not sure if you can create your
Correct.
account with your some email ID.
In my company, we have a one training account, and I had a discussion with my
Okay.
manager, and he was
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Don't use like this type of keys. Use this
Mm-hmm.
Bedrock."
Mm-hmm.
And in my company is a they provide the employee this account. Does not
Okay.
matter how we are using in dollars, like 800 or 2000.
Mm-hmm.
They are wearing that one. So that's
Correct.
why
Correct.
I'm thinking about if you can just so one session how the same program we can use it from Bedrock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, we will do
Because
that.
in
Mm-hmm.
organization wise they are not using direct, they are using the Azure or yeah, GCP or
Hmm.
AWS.
See, your end of the day, your application will be developed in the VS Code only. Your front
Correct, correct,
end and
correct.
your logic and everything. It's just
Hmm.
that what you have to do is you have to use the model which is deployed in your Azure account. For that, the way I am creating this connection, right? So this will only change. This, where is your
Okay.
connection? The instance of the grok, this will only change at this here. I need to write some Azure keys and all those things. What is my deployment name, what is my Azure key, and that's it. Once I
Okay.
make this LLM this object, I think I need to write my logic and everything in the Python itself, right, on the VS code. Okay. Okay, we will talk about more on that. Okay, maybe later, some in some dedicated lecture. Okay. I will keep in mind. So this is clear, guys. So this was simple, right? So the other example which we did was, what was that study? So we talked about this one. So where we need to create this. Anyone tried this one? Wikipedia to blog.
Yes, I have tried with
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI as well as Grok,
Mm-hmm.
but this like token limitations. So I was getting some, and in some phases I am getting the answer also.
Okay, great.
Uh,
So let's try this one also. Okay, so what I have done is I have taken the Wikipedia article of Jodhpur. Okay, so I just went to Wikipedia. Okay, so I copy pasted this content, couple of lines. Don't take too much, otherwise, as you said, you will face out of token error. So use couple of lines and I pasted it here. Okay, this much content. Let me run this one. My keys. And then what I'm doing is I'm creating my first chain. In my first chain, I have created this template. I'm using chat from template dot from template. Okay. In the previous exercise, we used from messages, right? So there are different methods. Don't get confused. So you can use any one of those as per your requirements. For example, here I'm using from templates. So given the following Wikipedia article, create an outline for an engaging blog newspaper article about it. And this is my article. And so this I am providing here, my Wikipedia article. Okay. Not right now. Then my model. So again, I am using this Llama 3.3. This is my output parser. This is my chain. So I am providing this Wikipedia article now, this one, this variable. I'm just passing it without key value pair, without dictionary, because this is the only variable, right? If I have just one variable, then I can pass it as a single variable, single parameter, isn't it? Had there been two different variables as in the last case, I have to create proper dictionary so that it knows which value plugs in into which key. Got it? आया समझ में? क्योंकि यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक ही वेरिएबल है which is article, so I can simply give it the name of the Wikipedia article.
Correct.
ठीक है? Had there been two, then I have to provide the article is equal to one variable, second is the job role as the second one. ठीक है? So that it don't get confused. So here also I can create that key value pair, but since this is one, this is fine. Okay, so let me run this one. So what it will do is it will basically create the outline. Okay, so now I have got this outline. So outline says if I need to write a blog out of this Wikipedia article, this is how I should proceed. I should start with the introduction. I should tell a city stepped in a history. Okay, so this is creating just some framework so that I can use this framework to create that post. Okay, a tourist paradise, conclusion. Okay, so these are basically outline or the guidelines. Now what I will do is I will create another chain which is summarize prompt. You are a senior, highly experienced journalist with deep expertise in the following topic. This is my context and this is my outline. So the outline which I produced, I can pass in my second chain, and then it will your extensive knowledge allows you to provide thorough insights, blah blah blah. So I have created this chain. Now I have two variables, right? Context and outline. So I will create this dictionary. Context is equal to Wikipedia article. Outline is what I produce in the first chain. So now my aim is to plug in these two chains, right? So what I will do is I will create one third chain. So this is my reply. So now I have created this compose chain, which is basically plugging in those two chains. So my compose chain is like, this is my extraction chain I'm calling here, and this is my runnable pass through. Okay. So what will happen is this is my first component and this is my second component. Both are basically chains. And in this particular, I have two runnables. First is extraction chain and second is runnable pass through. So what will happen when I do compose chain dot invoke and I pass Wikipedia article, this value will go to my first element. Okay, this extraction change automatically. So don't get confused. When I pass Wikipedia article, it will go to my first runnable and also will go to my second runnable. Okay, it will do automatically. So Wikipedia article की value extraction chain में गई, which is my first chain, which created some outline. Now I have the outline. Second is what? My second chain is looking, this summary chain is looking for two values. One is the outline and other is the context. है ना? यहाँ पे क्या था? I need two things, context and outline. This outline I will get from my first chain. Okay. So on the fly, I will call my first chain, create my outline, and this runnable pass-through will do what? It will simply pass this value of this Wikipedia article and it will set to the context. Okay. So this is the use of runnable pass-through. With the help of this, we are simply passing this value and it will not do anything. Rather, it will set the value for the key context as Wikipedia article. Now we have these two values. They will be sent to supply summary chain. Okay. Which is looking for exactly these two values, and then I will get my output. So this is, I just tried to show you how you can plug in two chains to create a single chain. Okay. And this is our article. Discover the blue city, unveiling the charms of the Jodhpur, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Is it clear or not? And there is not just one way of creating such applications. You can make a lot of changes. You can change the prompt as your experience, and you never will be able to create the exact prompt in the first go, right? You have to, it's an iterative process. if you are thinking that your response is not good, maybe you will change your prompt one more time and then keep on improvising, okay, till you get your desired response. Make sense?
Yeah.
The third exercise was creating a conversational. This was conversational chain. So far you have seen what I am doing is I am just giving my input and I'm getting my output, right? So, but the problem here is my previous conversation is not being sent to the LLM. Correct? First of all, you should know LLM has no memory. Agree? LLM does not know what you requested or what prompt you have sent to it just 1 second before. If you say hi, it will say hi. If you say my name is Surendra, it will say hi Surendra, glad to see you. If I again ask what is my name, it will not be able to tell me. ChatGPT can tell because ChatGPT has all those things. Because ChatGPT is an application which has memory and all those things being already there. But if you are using just large language model, then it will not be able to tell you what was your name. Basically, it has no information on the different chat messages which you sent, I mean, before your current, message. Is it clear? है ना उसके बाद हिस्ट्री
Yeah.
मेंटेन नहीं रहती बेसिकली सो इन ऑर्डर टू रिटेन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट और द कन्वर्सेशन when we develop custom applications we have to send the entire conversation to the large language model so that it knows कि पहले क्या बात हो चुकी है हमारी है ना okay I am talking to Surendra now if you ask who am I he will say you are Surendra because we are sending all the messages again and again okay so if we
So
want
Surinder,
yeah
here is a query.
mm-hmm.
You are saying for like a chat GPT and all, if we put like a one big questions, then
Mm-hmm.
he's maintaining the memory.
Right
And again, just typing for the any information related to that question and we'll get this answer. You're
mm-hmm.
not going to put all the things again.
Correct
So how many methods we can maintain that memory? One is with the like running model, like heap and all. And if we are using any like other tools, like if you're using S3 bucket where we put all these messages and this
mm-hmm.
model take
Yes,
from there.
yes.
So how many methods and what would be the perfect one we will use for our application
Hmm.
to maintain these things?
Yeah. So usually what happens is whenever your conversation is live, right?
Mhm.
Whenever you are talking to any such, I mean, chat bot, it will retain your conversation till your session is not ended, right? Let's say you
Mhm.
are going to the Airtel and you are saying I was overpaid or, my bill was, instead of 999, it came out to be 1200. So then you can chat with your chatbot, and the chatbot will be able to retain the all the conversation till the time your session is not expired. So by the time you cross it or close the window, your memory will be gone. So that is one way. Okay, and you can keep those messages maybe in the database or maybe in the application server cache. So there are different ways, right? Maybe in the Redis, right? There are different cache services
Mhm.
even on your cloud platforms, right? Which you can use to save. Okay,
Mhm.
so this is what we are trying to do here also. So there are different ways and different strategies which you can use to retain those messages. And whenever you send a new message, it will also send the older messages as well. Okay. And then there may be a obvious question. This will definitely add to your, context number of tokens which you are sending. Definitely it will add the number of tokens. So what we can do is sometime in order to avoid the total no increase in the number of input tokens we can sometimes say only the last 5 messages history you should send, okay, or maybe what you can do is you can summarize your last 10 messages and then you can send only the summary instead of the actual uh, question and answer, right? User and AI response instead of actual. What you can do is you can create some kind of summary of last 20 messages or 50 messages in 3 or 4 lines that you can send to the LLM. So there are different ways in which you can optimize your system to reduce your cost. ठीक है? And then if you are using some Streamlit application, for example, they have a different way of storing, which we will talk today. Okay. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I am just trying to explain you the basic concept and the basic problem. Okay. The problem we have already seen. These LLMs are memoryless. So every time we need to send them the entire conversation. And how to solve it, we will see it step by step. Today is our first attempt to, solve this one. Okay. Later, we will talk about more methods of doing the same thing. Clear, guys? So I'm trying to take you, right from the basic one. What basic thing we can do to make our uh, chatbot conversational. So again, installing these. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating one list kind of variable, which is memory. Okay. Initialize memory list of the messages. This is the simplest way. And then this is my template UR and helpful assistant. Here is the conversation history so far. This is my variable. And now respond to the following question. This is my question. This is the question which user is asking at the moment. Okay. And this is the history. Whatever messages has been exchanged with the LLM, all those are clubbed into history list. Okay. History variable. आ रहा है ना समझ में? And then I have created this prompt, and this is my key, user data dot key. Now I have this method which is updating the memory. Okay. Let me explain you once I run it. Okay. So when I say hi, it will say, it's nice to meet you. Is there something I can help you? Hi, I am Surendra. Okay, now if I say what is my name, it should be able to tell me your name is Surendra. This is just because I'm sending all the previous message along with my new question. And how I am doing it? I'm simply doing what? Get response. So I'm in this method, I'm passing user input, which is my question, and the memory. Okay, so what is my memory is having? If I go into get response, where is my method? This method, I'm passing the memory object. Okay, so I'm just removing the next line and creating the history. So memory and history are essentially same. And this is conversational chain. In the history, I'm passing the entire conversation, and this is my new question. Okay, and while while making this chain, I'm doing what? I'm each time I am updating my memory with the response, right? So every time I get the response, I need to update my memory object. Yes or no? Whatever response I have got from my AI, I need to save it in my list. So what I'm doing is I'm updating memory. I'm passing my memory, my question, and my result. So the new set of question and the new result are getting. Just a
So
second. Hmm.
in that case, Surendra, if we can create one JSON file here
Mm-hmm.
and put all that memory in that JSON file and with the same directory.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you are saying if session is gone and you are doing the next time, that memory will gone because all this memory over the session. But
Mm-hmm.
in that case, if we are created one JSON file and we put all this all this writing in JSON file, then it would be helpful for next time if just start
Yeah,
this
yeah,
collab
yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah,
can
yeah.
get
I
correct.
mean,
Okay.
yes. You can save that JSON file on your laptop, and
Okay.
once you reinstantiate your your application, it can read that file and it can load all those
Okay.
conversation. Okay, but if you are making an application with the multiple users, so what you need to do is, along with that conversation chat which is being saved on your hard disk, you also should put one conversation ID, so that it knows, or the user ID, something like that, right? So that it knows, okay, for this user, this is the conversation it has to load.
So how ChatGPT work? What they are using for this? You can say this process.
Nobody knows ChatGPT.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay,
But
so
they are using something else also for this memory one,
yeah.
na?
So they also remember all the past.
Yes, yes, yes. I checked
Hmm.
it. I remember. Very good. But most of the organization, what they are using, we talk about I'm not talking about ChatGPT or
Mm-hmm.
Llama or a big OpenAI, big organization. I'm just talking about the like a normal tech companies or client, what they are using to manage this memory.
Yeah, they are also using, some database, for example, the Redis, on their
Okay.
platform. Okay, wherever their chatbot is deployed. So they are. Okay, so I was telling, these histories are also maintained. Okay, even if you want to start talking your past conversation, which was in 2024, or my best friend essay. Okay, so it can, somewhere it has saved in some database, so it will pull that conversation and it will pass the entire conversation to the LLM along with a new question on top of it. Okay, because this is basically a context. For example, I am working on some business case, then I should not be again and again telling it, this is my problem statement, this is my context, this is how I am doing. If I need to ask a question on top of it, right, then I should be able to pull the previous conversation and then I should be able to ask my question on top of it. Okay, so this is very simple application. How in the Python, with the help of this list object, I can save my previous conversations, and each time I am invoking my LLM, whatever my question and whatever my response was, I am appending that particular thing to my object, list object. And whenever I'm asking any question to the LLM, I will send the user input as well as my memory. Okay. So now let's talk about our main agenda of this class, which was like Streamlit. Okay. Want to have 5 minutes break, guys? Can we have a break of 5 minutes before we proceed with the Streamlit?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Surendra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks. So let's come back at 10:08. Thanks. Hello, everyone. All right. So now what we will do is, are you guys back?
Yes, sir.
So we will talk about Streamlit. Anyone has any exposure to Streamlit or has heard about Streamlit?
Yes, I have seen your video and create a one small application with Streamlit.
No, super. All right. So Streamlit is a Python library which help us to create user interfaces very quickly. So that's the beauty. So if you want to create user interface using React or some other technology, I need to learn it, right? And that may take some time. And although that will be more efficient and that is more flexible, but let's say I have to show a quick demo and I am not an, a UI developer and I need to show a demo. So what I can do is I can use this Streamlit to quickly develop some user interface which can work on top of my Python code, whatever code which we have been learning and writing. So in order to provide UI to that, I can use Streamlit, which help me to create the user interface very quickly, and it is also very flexible. It has lots of widgets which we can use to generate UI very quickly. So if you have any demos, even today also, if I have a demo with the client or with my manager or with my internal capability, what I can do is I can create the user interfaces very quickly with the help of Streamlit. So what it is, it's a Python library. Okay, the only thing I need to do is pip install Streamlit. That's it. And then I can start using the various plugins which are there, various widgets. For example, so what are the other features? For example, it has simplicity and the usability. It has customizable widgets and it's a very deployment friendly. And most importantly, it is data science oriented. Data science oriented in the sense that the creator of this Streamlit has a special focus on data science, where if you want to show any graphs like this line chart, bar graphs, or if I need to use, if I need to read some CSV files, any data related things, if I am doing, then most of the time the functions are already built in. So they have a special focus on data science community. Okay, whatever a data scientist needs, they have some library to cater that. That's what I want to say.
So, Suren,
Yeah.
uh, this Streamlits are using business and companies, or they are using Flags and React framework only?
Sorry, come again.
For productionized applications, can
Mm-hmm.
be used this Streamlit
Yeah. I
or
mean, there are some applications or there are some, I mean, businesses who are actually using Streamlit in the production also.
okay.
That is also possible. Okay. I have seen couple of websites which are based on this Streamlit, but
Okay.
very less basically. Okay.
Okay. Most
Usually,
of the React
uh,
based and
exactly.
Flags. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, and we are also reading about Streamlit because they also have some components which are very helpful for creating chat-based applications. Okay, if I mean creating chatbots, so they have something called as the user input, user message kind of things they have already built, so that we can create our chat-based applications very quickly. Okay, so in this module, what we will see how to install it, how to set up, how to what are the different core components of the Streamlit, how to show messages on the UI, how to read the user input, how to create charts and things like that. So that will come under core components. And then, as I said, we have chat components also. Recently, they have created some chat components which help us to build chat-based applications very quickly. And how we can do streaming. So in earlier, we talked about what is streaming, right? So if you want to stream our response, then they have also again one method which is streaming. How we can stream the response on the UI. So for that, they have some streaming component, and then there is then we will talk about how the data basically flows in the Streamlit. Basic data flow means how the execution of the script happens, and within that execution, there are some some issues basically. So those issues will be tackled with the help of session state. Okay. In the last exercise, what we did, we used Python list, but now we will use Streamlit session state to save our variables and things like that. And Streamlit callback functions, and there is something called a Streamlit cache, and then we will build one project. So now, so far in the last few lectures, we have learned how to create the backend. This lecture will help you to build GUI based assistants now. Now we are putting the layer of the UI on top of it. So now it's ready to be shown to anyone, isn't it? I cannot go and show my Google Colab file, right, to my managers. Now, after learning Streamlit, I will be able to create some full-fledged applications, some user interfaces, some chat components will be shown, and you can showcase your application basically. Okay. So let's get started. Let me open my VS Code. You must not be able to see it, I suppose. Give me a second, guys. Let me share my screen. Sure, I have to share what word? Where is VS Code? This is my VS Code. This is my Streamlit PPT. This is my browser. Can you see the VS Code now?
Yes.
So what I will do is I will create another folder, open folder. Open folder. All right. So what is my first step? Anyone can tell me? Once I'm in my VS Code, if I want to build a project, what is my first step?
Install libraries and create a one file. First of all, I think you should install all the libraries and create the Python environment. I think it would be
Exactly. So the
better. Create
first
the
first one
Python.
is the Python virtual environment. So Python -mv virtual environment one. This is what I will do. You can see my screen, right? Okay. Now I will go into my venv1 scripts and activate my environments. Once I activate, the name of my environment will be appended to my command prompt. Okay. All right. So I am into my virtual environment. Now let me pip install Streamlit. This installs the library. Meanwhile, I will click on my workspace, will create one file. This is app.py. Okay, don't create your app.py file inside your virtual environment. It should be outside. Okay, so this is app. What I will do, still not installed. So first thing we will learn is how to show text on UI. Okay. So once we log into any application, you see welcome, so and so corporations and all those things, right? Still installing.
Suren, in some videos I have seen they have installed the Conda and create the environment by Conda command. So,
Mm-hmm.
what would be the better one? If simple one, what we are using, or install
Yeah,
the Conda
I mean, this is sufficient, right?
sufficient?
VENV1. Yeah, yeah. I have been using
Okay,
it for years, so there is no such issues.
okay.
Okay, so this is done. Simply paste. What I need to do is I need to import Streamlit as st, and whatever I am writing, right? st.title. These all are widgets basically. For example, st.title, hello Streamlit. This is our hello world program. So in order to show something on the screen, what I can do, st.title and then st.write. There is also one command, st.header, maybe st.header is there. Yes, there is. This is a header. Okay, st.subheader, all those things. Okay, so once I'm done, if I need to run my application, I need to do streamlit run app.py. I think you are not able to see my browser. Tu, tu, tu.
And it is always running on port 8501. Can we update that port?
I think you should be able to do it.
Okay.
I haven't tried.
So if you are saying the organization in production also using, so I think they need to implement the SSL and all over the Streamlit, not the simple HTTP URL, correct?
Correct, correct.
So that's thing we can get from the YouTube and other in like
Yeah, yeah.
from Google.
I mean, there are actually companies who are using Streamlit, but this is not highly recommended. Okay, so they have their limitations, but if there is a small business or something like that, definitely we can do. Okay, so this is you can see, right, the response in the right hand side. You can see the browser, Edge, Microsoft Edge. So you can see the response as hello Streamlit. This is a header, this is a subheader, and this is your first application. So you can see the difference, right? If you want something to be on in the bigger font, I mean, it's very similar to our HTML. So this title will be of big size, okay? And then when you say header, it will be a bit smaller. Subheader will be further smaller, and then st.write will be your normal text. Okay, so far so good. So that was how to show messages. Next is the core components. Okay, so we have seen how to display text, st.title, header, and subheader. Now we will move toward, there is something called as the data frame, right? I hope you have heard about it.
Mhm.
So if you want to show a data frame, what you can do is decide what to remove. Okay, so what is this? Is my first attempt. So what I have done is I have defined this data frame. And if I simply write df without any widget, let's see, there is a rerun option. So this data frame has been shown in the tabular format. Okay. What I can do is I can also write something like data frame dot or maybe st dot write data frame. This should also give me same result. Okay, so there are different ways. Even if you don't write anything, you simply write df, then also it will show you the table. If you say like st.write and you give data frame as an argument, then also it will show you the table. Okay, and in fact, there is some write table also or something like that. Not sure. Okay. So this is how you can show the data frame also. You can read this data frame from any CSV file as well. So these are very basic things. And then let's say if I need to create some interactive widgets. Okay. Next, what we will do is we will create some interactive widgets. Interactive widgets means if I if I want user to give me some input, right? If I need to take user input, then what I can do is, for example, there is something called as the button. So I can create if st.button click me. So if you click that button, then only this statement will be executed. So what we are doing is we are actually taking the user input in the application. Let me always rerun. Click me. Now you can see the button. So if I click on that, it will show button clicked. Okay, simple. Another thing, let's say uh, we have to plot some function, for example, by taking user input. For that, there is an example which says, let me, so I'm importing NumPy, I'm importing pandas, st.title plot function power. So there is something called st.slider. Okay. And let me show you. This is the curve. Okay. So now you have that feeling, right? Why I was saying this is more like a data oriented. You can create such curves very easily. So if I say, so the user says, okay, this is value of my x is 3, x is 4, my curve will get changed because I am plotting this curve on the basis of user input. Okay. As per the user input, this curve will change. So if you go in the depth, you will see there's a function called select the power of x, 1, 10, 2, and numpy dot linspace. This is the value of x. Whatever x I provide, it will create x to the power, the value which user select. Okay. So it will be x to the power. And then st.line chart, this is creating some line chart. Okay. Simple functions basically to draw some curves. Sounds good? This is just to, make you friendly with this Streamlit. How the basic functions or widgets can actually help you to display tables, display curves based on the user input. They will get changed and things like that. Next is if you want to, let me put it here. Next is st.text input. Okay. If I run that, what I will see is it is asking for some input. Okay. Like that. So in order to take input from the user, just like we create some in the HTML forms, we write some text input boxes, right? Like that only, we can create some input text box where the user can give the input and the same input can be utilized somewhere in the application. Okay, so this is text input, st.text input. And then I'm using st.write to display that input to the interface. किसी को कुछ confusion? I think this is very basic stuff. What
Surendra, where
next?
do we use this Streamlit?
Streamlit.
Yes, Streamlit. Where we use it? Because for to develop a UI, or what is the use of exactly this one? Like whom?
To develop the UI, right? So see, if you want to show the applications, for example, Wikipedia to blog post to some business, right? You have to create some text area, right, where the user will be pasting the Wikipedia article and then the response will come to the user interface, isn't it?
Is it a production? Like do we need to use in a production, or is it like just for the demo sake?
Mostly it is used for the demo side. Okay, but as a data science developer or as a GenAI specialist or as a AI engineer, I'm not very proficient in creating user interfaces, right? I am not a UI developer. So this Streamlit basically helps me to create some demo-like user interfaces very quickly without putting a lot of effort. Once I'm
But
done,
how do we, move it to the production? Like what do we use in the
so
production?
no, see, this is just to show the capability to the business. Once you show that this is what we can do, the business will say, okay, now let's sign an SOW. Okay, in that you will put all the efforts, right, for the UI, for the data scientist, for the Gen AI engineer, and all those things. Then it will be dedicatedly created, the full-fledged applications. So this is just to show you the capability, right? What we can build for you to give the feeling.
Okay. But you see, client agreed that he wants the same UI, same set of functions, same thing. But when we are trying custom, right, using different Java maybe technologies or team members and all, see, we may not achieve 100% right, as it is. I'm saying some time, like
No, I mean,
maybe
if
you got.
if if client is saying I need Streamlit, then that's fine. Give it in the Streamlit. What is the problem?
It is better, for example, in our case, for all the Google Colab code, we can convert to like this.
Hmm.
And it would be like a hands-on for us because we are not like a designer and front-end developer. But with this system, at least we can do something and we can share the demo with our managers or the client holders. And after it, the specific team is for each and every organization for like a front end. They can do further it, but we are not in expert like in React.js and like these front end things. So this Streamlit is very helpful for us to just show some demo if we are creating some small things in AI and
Exactly. So
less and then we can.
our company cannot ask ten people to create some POC, right? They will just say, okay, one guy should work for this customer. He should create POC in 7 days and then show it to the user. If the user likes it, then it will be converted into full-fledged project, right? If client likes your idea, then he will say, okay, let's sign SOW, and then we will have some discovery sessions with them, what they are looking for, how the UI should look like, and then we will go into the depth, right? But in order to show some demo to the client, I cannot ask, okay, you take two UI developers, two data scientists, right? That will be waste of money. So there will
Correct.
be just one or two people who will be working on POCs, just like center of excellence or anything like that. Okay. Okay, I will move forward quickly because there are a lot of stuff to cover. So data visualization, we have already seen how we can create that line chart with the data frame. No, we haven't seen. Okay. So this will do what? This will basically display a map. Okay. So this is a map widget. With just this map widget and providing the coordinates of any location, you can embed this nice map on your user interface. Okay. See how helpful it is, right? And then if you have to create some line charts, some bar charts, and all those things can be easily developed. This is my line chart, okay? My X and Y values. I can create bar graphs and things like that. With a simple line of code, this is my data frame. This is are my X values. I'm creating some random values, X and Y, and I'm passing this data frame into my line chart widget. So they have a lot of widgets. Let me take you to the website as well. Okay. And then AI integration is also there. So I'm not sure if this will work or not because yeah, I need to install a couple of things. We can skip this one, or maybe I will give you it as a homework. You can try and come back. So yeah, so other than that, if you need to create some layouts and columns, if you need to create some sidebars, there are functions for that. Let me show you. Okay, so this is doing what? This is basically column 1, column 2, st dot columns. So it will divide your screen into two parts. Okay, and I can also do something like I can give a tuple, for example, 1 comma 2. So what it will do is it will divide my entire grid into two parts. This is first column and this is second column, but they are in the ratio of 1:2. I can do like 1:5 also. Okay, so this will shrink and this will expand. So I can create such grids. And within that, I can write something, in column 1, I can give some values. In the column 2, I can write something. Similarly, we have something called the sidebar. So if I need to create sidebar, so what it will do is it will create this sidebar. Okay, usually when we create some POCs or some applications, we keep sidebar to put user to put some API keys or some configurations or to browse some data or things, some configuration related or parameter related things are kept in the left hand side, and in the right hand side main screen in the sidebar in the right hand side we have that chatbot basically where the user message and the AI message will be shown. Okay, so if I click on that, nothing happens. Okay, st.sidebar.title, sidebar button, click here. Okay, so this is how I can create sidebar. Now the other main topic is what is your chat components. So we have seen that they have something called as, let me show you website
Yeah.
also.
No. Kind of.
So if you go to docs, if you go to API reference, okay, so they have all these widgets. So all these are widgets, st.write. Okay, so these are write and magic widgets, st.write stream, magic, text elements, markdown, title, header. This we have seen, right? Caption, code blocks, lot of things are there. Lot of widgets,
Yeah.
data elements, data frames. Okay, so if you go to input widgets, these are the input widgets, buttons, forms, chat elements, which we will talk now. We have st.chat input. Okay, so if you feel like you need any help, you can always go to the very nice documentation. It will show you how to use chat input, how to use chat message. Message is used to show the message on the front end, and chat input is used to take the input from the user. Okay, so these are, I mean, you can go through the documentation. It's really very nice. Okay, so let me take you through to core components we have seen. This we have not seen. I will give you this as a homework. You can try that, how you can run your models also. So this will do what? It will basically use the Hugging Face T5 base model, and it will show the user interface where the user can paste something, and it will summarize your content, right? So I will give you this as a homework. You can try. And then now we are on to chat components. So we have two chat components. One is the chat message and other is the chat input. Chat input is used to take users input in a chat-like format. And chat message is to display a message in the chat interface. Okay, so let's do coding for this one. Let me remove all these things. Let me pull the code. समझ में आ रहा है आप लोगों को, right?
Yeah.
So once you understand this, I mean, it's very easy to survive in this industry, especially in the AI engineer field. Import Streamlit as ST, what it is saying. Unexpected indentation.
Wait, ma, Hindule. Ni laudra kuni, tano.
Okay. So there are some important concepts here. Okay. Superb. So what we are doing here is, guys, concentrate here, right? This is very important concepts. So what we are trying to do here is import Streamlit as ST. This is fine. Now we are defining something called as the session state. Okay, so session state is what? It's an basically dictionary object. Okay, and within this dictionary object, what I'm saying is if messages, this dictionary object means it will have key value pairs, correct? This session state is an dictionary object and it will have key value pairs. So in this statement, what I'm asking or what I'm checking is if messages is there in this dictionary or not. If there is any key with the name messages. If it is not there, then I am just creating an empty list of that. Okay, I'm just creating this key messages and in the response, there is nothing right now. Clear? And now next what I'm doing is for message in st.session.state, if there are any, this messages key will further have a list, and in within this list there will be multiple messages, user message or AI message or system message, right? So this is very similar to the Python list which we created earlier. Got it? So now my first step is to check if this key is already there. If it is not there, then I will create one empty list. And here there is a for loop which says, let's say there are some messages in this messages key. Let's say there are 5 messages. 2 of them are user message and 2 of them are system message. So what I'm doing is for each message in the messages key, I will check if the role of my message is user, then I am using chat message to display my user message. And if it is an AI message, then I will use markdown.message content. I will show the content. Okay. This I will show you, then it will be more clear. Okay. All in all, what I'm doing, I'm just checking what type of message it is. If it is a user message, then you show it. And if it is AI message, then also show it on the screen. What next? This is the user input. We talked about user message to show the message, chat message on the UI. User input. Chat input will do what? It will take input from the user. So user is going to type something on the screen, just like we do, right? While doing chatting, we write some message. So this is, so I'm taking st.chat input is taking user input. And then if it is checking if that user input is not null or not empty, then I'm showing that message on the UI. And I'm also appending that message in my session state. So session state dot messages, in this key I'm going and then I'm appending one message of the role user, because user can only type, right? In this input, user can only type the message. So that message will go into the user role. And let's say for the time being, instead of integrating to the large language model, I am just emulating the bot response. Let's say the bot response is echo whatever user message was there, it is just echoing that message, and that AI, that will be saved in AI message also. Okay, and then we are saving that also in my session state. Does that made any sense to you guys? And let me run it and then maybe. Okay. Okay, so now you can see in the bottom, oh, in the bottom, I can see this chat window, right? This where I can put my message. I say hi. This is Suren. I click enter. So what is happening is this message, my user input message was saved in my session state, and then it was shown on the interface. Okay, and the response from the AI was also shown. So what we are doing is we are making use of chat input and chat message, user message. Clear hai? Chat message, sorry. Is it clear? Second message. Okay. So like that, I can do my chatting. So conveniently, I have created an user interface which looks like a chatbot. I can put my messages, I can receive my messages. The only thing is I have not integrated this response from the LLM for the time being, but just to emulate like a LLM, I am just echoing the user message itself. Okay? If you plug in an LLM, it will be a full-fledged chat application, right?
So this method markdown just show the response only, yeah?
Correct, correct. Yeah. This is just to show these icons based on if the role is user, then it will show this kind of icon and then it will mark down the text. And this is for AI. Okay, just to segregate. Okay. If I simply do user.st.write, then that will not be good in the visuals, right? So that's why they have created some dedicated these widgets, which help me to create these chat-like applications very fast. Okay, so that was those two components. We will talk more about all these things. The entire rest of the session will be based on this one only. So let's move fast. And then streaming. So they also have an method which supports streaming. Okay, because our large language models send the response in the streaming format. So what I will do, let me copy paste some code. Okay, some mistakes. If
So Surendra, all the time we have to run like a Streamlit run and then app.py, or it is reflecting itself without executing this app.py and just change the code.
no, I think I have done this auto always rerun. That means whenever I make any modification, it will rerun basically.
Where you have set this setting? Auto rerun?
Yeah, this is there, right? Can you see on the screen?
Yeah, I'm able to see, but how we can set this setting? Auto rerun. Because in my case, it is not auto rerun. I'll have to run again in Visual Code like terminal. Streamlit run then app.py.
Mhm. So on this front end only, you have this option actually. Can you see these three buttons
Yeah, I'm able to see.
which we create rerun? So right now there are errors, so it is not able to run. Okay,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
there you have some more options here. Rerun, always rerun. That will
Okay.
do what? Whenever I make any change, it will try to reload the application. Okay, so what is happening? All right. So now what I'm doing is I have written this dummy method, which will do what? It will generate the response word by word. Okay. Usually what will happen? This instead of this, we will get token by token from LLM, right? Right now we are not integrating LLM, but in order to replicate same thing, I have created this method, which is generate response, which will send me the response not in one go, rather it will send it by word by word. In order to do that, I have used this function which is called yield. Okay, so this is a Python function which will do what? It will first take this string response, whatever I have there in the response, it will split it by the space so that it can, access the different words. It will split by space. Okay. So I have like Jodhpur, Hindi, all these are different words. So now I have list of those words which are separated by space, and then I'm doing time dot sleep. I will wait for 1 second, or maybe let's 0.05 seconds, and then I will keep on passing those word one by one. Okay. And then this is pretty much same for messages in session.
What does do this yield?
So yield will basically send the response word by word. Usually what we do, we write return something, right? If I say return response, then the entire sentence will be sent as a response
Okay.
to my function who is calling it, right? Right now, with the help of yield, my response will not be sent in one go. Rather, it will be sent one word. First, it will send Jodhpur, and then Hindi, then pronunciation, word by word. Okay, so this is pretty much same. Here, what I am doing is, this is the user input. Type your message. If user input is this, there is nothing wrong with the user input. This is exactly same, right? What we are trying to do is how our response should be generated. Earlier, the response was in one go. Now what I am doing is I am writing with st.chatMessage AI response generator. So I am calling this function. Okay. Okay. I'm calling this function from here, and those words will be collected in response generator, and this I am passing in my st.writeStream. So this is that widget which we are learning right now. Okay, so st.writeStream will help me to generate the word by word response. So st.writeStream, and I have provided it the response generator. Okay, and then this is again we are setting in the content. So when you are collecting this response generator st.writeStream in the response, it will be full sentence, not each word, so that we can save the full response in my memory. आ गया समझ में? Let me run it, then it will give you more feeling where it is. You can say that word by word it is being generating, just like ChatGPT. Okay, makes sense? So we just tried to explore this write stream. Okay, when we will build some real world application, we will use the response from the large language model, and then this widget will help me to display those things token by token on my UI. That's the only motive. Okay. Okay. We are now one step closer to some real life applications. All right. The next concept is regarding execution model. So this is important. What happens is, if you look at this piece of code, I have this method which is fetch data from API. Okay. And I have this URL. I'm hitting this URL and I'm getting some response. Okay. It will take some time, right? Because this is some other website, some REST API or something being exposed. I'm calling that API and getting the response. And that response is sent to my API data. And then if API data has some value, I'm writing it on the UI, isn't it? But the problem with the Streamlit is that whenever I'm doing anything, if I'm doing st.write or maybe st.button, if user is doing any action on the UI, it basically reruns the entire script, the entire file from top to bottom. Okay, so the Streamlit applications rerun the entire Python script from top to bottom whenever a user interacts with the interface. This includes actions like clicking on a user interface elements, like widgets, changing the value of an input field. So if you do any operation, let's say user has written hi, then what will happen is it will execute from top to bottom one more time. So this is one of the drawback of using Streamlit. But in order to cater that thing, or in order to have a workaround, what we can do is we can save these values in the Streamlit cache or Streamlit session state. Okay, but this is just to show you this problem with this behavior can lead to the performance issues. For example, let's say I have taken some action, then what will happen? It will again go to this API, will again fetch something. Now I have user has interacted, given some more input. Then what will happen? Again, this will rerun. It will again. So I am calling this API again and again unnecessarily, right? So this will hamper the performance of my application, as well as it can add to my cost. If it is a machine learning model, I am invoking that model again and again, right? So this is not a desired behavior. So this is what has been written. In order to address, what we can do is we can use session state to persist the data across the interaction. So what next we will learn is how we can use session state to save the values, okay, which we have retrieved from any API or some method, and we will save it in the session state, so that the next time when my application reruns, it will first check if that value is already there in the session, then it will not call the API again. Rather, it will reuse the value which is there in the session state. Very simple, isn't it?
So Surendra, it is like same like a session management in Java.
Exactly, yeah.
So in code, I think if you are written this code, then we have to use like your try, accept, and finally block, like close the session and like these things.
Mm-hmm. Correct,
In
correct.
proper code, we are doing there like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will show you all these things by running. So this is that Streamlit session. So in this piece of code, the problem is if user is taking any action, this will rerun, we will call the API again, and it will be an issue. So now what I am doing is I am using this session state. Okay. We have already done, right? In our first example, session state, we were saving the messages. Now this is API data. So I will check in the same fashion if API data key is already there in the session state. Okay, if it is not there, then create the API key and the value should be fetched from this particular function. Okay, once it has the value, when the next time you rerun this application, what will happen? It will come to this method, it will not execute, it will go here, it will see is API data not in? No, it will say it's already there. It's there, then it will proceed to the next, and then it will simply use that if session.state API data, s.write stored data from the API. I think this is clear now. So the main aim of using session state is the key characteristics of the session state is a feature that let you save variables that persist throughout a user's interaction within the app, even when the app reruns. It behaves like a Python dictionary, making it easy to store and retrieve values. Okay, so instead of saving anything, the way we were saying, right, that we can save one JSON file on the laptop in order to save the conversation. But now what we can do is we can use session state to save all those values in my session itself. Okay, uh, uh, at my session level, and it will be a user specific. If two people are using the same application, my session will be saved at my level, and I mean those two sessions will not be mixed, right? My values will stay with me, they will not interfere into his session. Okay, so persistent across reruns, values stored in session state are retained even when the Streamlit application reruns. This is what we have seen. Suitable for UI related data. It's particularly useful for storing information related to users interface, such as user inputs, selections, and all those things. Okay, all the user specific things we are going to save in the session state. For application related things which are common to all the users, we have something called as the cache, which is our next topic. Let's say if you have our application is pulling some data from NSE or BSE website or BSE database, right? Some price of the stock market. So that value is not related to a user specific, right? The value of the Tata Motors share is, let's say 500, then the price is same for all the users. So instead of, again and again calling those APIs to pull the value of the price of the Tata Motors share, at the application level, I will store those values in my cache, and then all my users will be able to use that value which is there in the cache for some duration. Okay, I can define that time to live. I mean, there is some setting called TTL. For that longer, those values will be valid, and then it will again fetch some fresh values, right? But if the values are related to a user specific, whatever chatting I am doing, whatever username password I am sending, right, those user specific things are shared in session state. I think I have enough emphasized, right? Hope you get. Is it clear, guys? नहीं आया समझ में? आ गया समझ में. Okay. So let me quickly run last piece of code before we close today's class to show you. I think this we have already seen, right? Before this one. This is yielding only. Okay, so this code which we ran earlier uses same concept, right? My messages, or maybe let me do what? Let me remove this session state. Okay, let me make it just a plain session. Control H, replace with nothing. Replace all. Okay. Now this code has been converted into simple list, not the session state. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let me comment this as well. Okay. So this is a simple list. I'm saying if in this there are messages, if there is a message. Okay, let me run this one. So when I say hi, it's hi. When I say hello, what will happen? My earlier messages are gone. Correct? Because what is happening when I'm typing second time, let's say I'm typing third time, I'm taking some action as a user, I am taking some action. And because of that action, what will happen? My entire script will rerun and it will make my messages again empty. Okay. And everything will go away. When I say, what is time? Third time, my previous message will go. Okay. So that is the problem. So in order to get rid of this problem, we made use of session state, where we are defining the session state, this messages. In this messages, I am appending my user, whatever question the user was asking. I appended that messages in my messages key, and the response also I'm storing in my messages key. Whenever the user take any action, since I have all those messages in my session.state messages, I am displaying all those messages again. Okay, initially there is no message, nothing is displayed. When there is one interaction, hi and hello, it will be saved and those will be displayed first, and then it will ask for next prompt. When I continue my conversation, those messages get appended to my memory and to my session state, and they are first displayed to the UI, and then I can carry on my conversation. I hope it is clear, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my first message. This is my second message. They are getting appended. So I have solved my problem with the help of session state. Okay. This is very helpful. Okay. Even I was working on such POCs 6 months back, and I was using all these things very heavily. They are very useful if you want to be in this field. Okay. Because your first step will be like creating some applications to your manager or to your center of excellence, to your client, right? So you can use Streamlit and you can use these session states to make your application conversational. Okay. Earlier we used Python function, but we cannot use here the Python list, because every time we run or the user take any action on the UI, they get wiped out. The script reruns from top to bottom. So in order to tackle that problem, we have used session state. Okay. So there are a couple of topics which are still left. Like this, we have done execution model. Next is session state we have done. There is something called as callback functions. So callback functions are what? Whenever there is an action which user is taking, For example, they are clicking some button, or they are changing something, or they are submitting something. If I want to call any method or any piece of code which I want to call on these actions, then I can use callback function. Okay, so this you can try yourself. Okay, I have videos also on my YouTube channel, so you can go through if you're not able to do this yourself. And the last concept is Streamlit cache. This is pretty important, but you can give it a try. Okay, Streamlit cache, where we store the application level things. Okay, and the Streamlit cache is also of two types. One is cache data, and other is cache resource. In cache data, we store the objects which can be serialized. For example, your string, your JSON, and all those things. In resources, if you have some piece of some objects, for example, some large language model objects or some database connections which are mutable, right? Which cannot be serialized. Those, for storing those, we have to use cache resource. Okay. So what you can do is you can go through videos which I already recorded. कहाँ गया? Advanced LangChain, nahi, Streamlit crash course. Okay. So this is the exactly same session. The application, the Streamlit cache which I was talking about, right? If you have anything at application level, okay, then you have to use cache. If you are at a user level, session state user 1, user 2. So you can go through these last two videos. Okay, they are very 15 or 10 minutes. Just go through these videos. If you have any questions, ask me on the WhatsApp chat as well. Okay, and then I will also be sharing you the assignment. Okay, guys, please
Okay.
be serious. Take some time, maybe 2-3 hours a week, and learn all these things. Okay, because next week onwards we will be more serious. We will be talking about some important concepts like RAG. Okay, and now our foundation part is over. We will move towards building real life applications. Okay, so go through all these two videos and do the assignment which I will be sharing on the WhatsApp. And yeah, any questions, guys, for today's
Yes,
lecture or
yes,
previous?
Ravi. Yes, Surendra. See,
Yeah.
you see Gen AI, we are talking about Gen AI, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, is it related to the ML and AI and ML? It's
Gen
not
AI.
relevant, right?
Gen AI.
Yes.
So I mean, see, Gen AI is making use of large language models, which are again nothing but the machine learning models only, right? They are based on neural networks or transformer based models. So those concepts, if you know, that is well and good. Otherwise, there is no assets necessary to understand all those things. I have, I think, already covered some basics. That is sufficient. What is your question, by the way? Hello. I think he got disconnected.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm disconnected due to my network. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am connected again. See, Surendra, see, my query is like, see, now Gen AI, Gen
Mm-hmm.
AI just uses LLM. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So only when I wanna say at anywhere, I'm aware that Gen AI with LLM. That's all. Like LLM can be used in many of the other platforms also. Like what do you call artificial intelligence? It's a high level term.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Where is the subset of the just Gen AI,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right. Right.
But
We again lost. Hi, Ananya. You are very silent in the class. All right, I think I can talk to Raghavendra, right? He was Raghavendra, right, who was asking question. I will get in touch with him. Anything else? Anyone else has? Piru, if you are talking, you are not audible.
I'm able to listen to Peru and Surinder, both of you.
But I'm not able to hear Piru. You are audible, Umesh. What happened?
Hello,
Is
Surendra, can you hear me?
yes, yes. Now I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, my network actually, I don't know. Like, see, I'll come again. It was a network issue. So, see, the problem is for me here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Gen AI. When I'm saying that Gen AI, I'm learning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where am I comfortable? Where I wanna fit this Gen AI? Like, only LLM part. We use that in Gen AI, and that too. There are some framework, LangChain, and
Mm-hmm.
there are some framework which I use. But when I talk, the machine learning guys,
Mm-hmm.
already aware this Gen AI, correct?
No, not really. Machine learning came first, and then GNAI is very recent thing, right?
But machine learning, see, the Gen AI is just a small set of under ML, correct? Machine
Yeah,
learning.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But again, ML is a small set of under AI, artificial
Correct,
intelligence.
correct, correct.
So now the LLM is just a small set under the Gen AI.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yes, now LLM is like anywhere it is there in all. Like, see, now I'm a machine learning guy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware LLM, but I'm
Mm.
not aware the Gen AI, correct? That is the concept, correct?
Yeah, you can say that. See, LLM and GenAI are very
What
close,
the
right?
problem is, like, I want to understand how it is exactly relevant to this one. Where, see, now I'm going to, you are saying that, as of now, we are running maybe RAG and all. Okay, we will
Mm-hmm.
enter and understand clearly, but the confusion is I'm still understanding where it will fit right now. Like, if I want to add it in my profile, I'm saying, like,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm aware, what I'll do with Gen AI.
So you
We are aware
can.
that
Mm-hmm.
lot of things we can do with Gen AI, just a kind of automation. See, whenever I
Mm-hmm.
go and say that, to my manager, I am trying to, implement some Gen AI scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
using Gen AI. Like,
Correct.
Gen AI means like, it's a kind of just a small set, it's a similar word to the automation. There are
Right,
other
right.
automation tools like where they can use it, but Gen AI, what is the exactly impacting, here? Maybe they are aware that Gen AI is the new term which is coming,
Mm-hmm.
currently in the
Mm-hmm.
market, but still they want to make me like, they want from me that how am I like comfortable with these terms and this technology, like how
Mm.
we can leverage. That's my question. See, there are cost, everything is involved, but still Gen AI, I'm not like understanding. Maybe um,
I
the
think what you
topics.
do is, I mean, you just try to, look into more use cases of Gen AI. Okay, just try to explore what are the different use cases of Gen AI. Then I think that picture of the Gen AI will become clearer. Gen AI means what? Generating. Basically, we are generating some text. Those can be text, those can be images, and those can be video as well. Right? So that's why the term is generative AI. Okay, the machine learning does not generate anything. Okay, so it only tells you the patterns of the data which you feed it. But Gen AI has the specialty that the LLM on which, see, Gen AI is not in itself a technology, right? Whenever we are using, whenever we are generating text or images, we say this is generative AI. In the backend, there is large language models only who generate the text or videos or audios. Okay, so you have to understand how the things have changed from machine learning to Gen AI. Okay, how we can use this Gen AI to build some applications like chatbot and all. Okay, so I would suggest go through a couple of more videos to learn about what are the different use cases of Gen AI. Then I think that will make the picture more clear. Anyway, we will also build a lot of applications in rest of the course, which will again clear your concept. Okay, so don't worry too much about it. just go with the flow. We have just done the foundation. Now we will develop our application. Now we will talk more about the use cases now. Okay? Then it should
Okay.
be more clear to you.
Okay, I'm ready with my session. So if no sharing and also maybe if you have time or like maybe connect later, that's up to you. So when we can connect it, Surendra, like so.
So yeah, I mean, we can sit right now also. Let me stop the recording and then we can.
Yeah, maybe other folks also can just maybe. I think they are not.
Mm.
That's fine. I'm just sharing.